Hi guys, my name is Jasmine McDonald. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I post ballet and fitness related videos every single Tuesday, Thursday, and now Sunday. And if you're also new here, you may as well subscribe. Today's video is going to be a quick tutorial on how to use a slant board. Thank you so much Fitbeast for sponsoring today's video and sending me the slant board to try it out. So you guys know, as a professional ballerina, I take my health, well-being, and fitness very, very seriously. So I'm going to show you guys the slant board first and then show you a montage of different stretches, how to use it, and the different benefits that it can provide. So first of all, I love the color. Totally unrelated, but I love the color of the slant board that Fitbeast sent to me. It's really good quality. It also has the divots at the bottom for your heel so you don't have to slip. And it has many different divots on the bottom of it, so you can definitely adjust it to your needs, as high as you need or as low as you need. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different variations of height. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And the nice thing about slant boards is that they're very lightweight, very easy to travel with because they drop right back down. They're very easy and compatible with traveling, so you don't have to worry about, I'm gonna miss the gym when I go on vacation. This is very, very collapsible and easy to travel with. So I'll show you guys a montage of some stretches and some exercises that I personally love to do with this slant board.
Alright guys, so the very first exercise I love using my slant board for is this hamstring / calf stretch. You can see I have it on one of the lowest settings because I'm actually quite tight in my hamstrings and my calves. If this is too intense in the beginning, you can definitely put a stack of blocks underneath your hands or a roller like I did here. The goal is to slightly straighten your knees, and if you have hyperextension like me, you don't want to lock into it, so it's really important here that you keep your knees pulled up with your quads. This exercise helps with hamstring and calf flexibility and also can help alleviate with back pain if you sit at a desk for a really long period of time. Just with that extra elevation underneath your toes, as you can see, I'm on a slight angle here rather than just doing a normal forward fold. This gives me a much more intense stretch than normal. I like to roll out the roller in front of me to kind of lengthen out my back to make sure I'm not compressing my lower back. And then you can also put it up higher. This is where I have it the highest setting, and this is such a huge stretch for me. Next exercise I love incorporating in my stretching and conditioning routine is obviously going to be calf raises. As a ballerina, you guys know I stand on my toes a lot of the time, and this is actually something that I did in ballet school and when I was injured to rehabilitate my ankle and my legs. You want to make sure that your ankles are right over top of your big and second toe, not wavering in or wavering out. And this exercise helps with ankle mobility and strength while strengthening the calf as well. It's also a really nice stretch underneath the sole of your foot for your toes and the underneath part of your foot. As you know, as a ballerina, again, I'm standing on my toes all the time and using my feet, so this stretch and conditioning exercise is really, really nice for me. This is my favorite by far. I try to complete about 20 to 30 reps every other day, and depending on your level, you want to start small. So start with 5 because it is much more difficult than just doing regular calf raises. And just to counter stretch my calves here, I just bend and stretch my knees with my hands on the floor. You can also hang onto the wall and do a really elevated calf stretch with the slant board at its highest, and this really, really gets the tops of your calves. You can also bend and stretch your knee a little bit if you can. And this stretch can also help with plantar fasciitis. I know Steven has plantar fasciitis and he likes to stand on the board when he can in the workday to alleviate the pain associated with unfortunate plantar fasciitis. It's also very calming and relaxing, and I love doing this first thing in the morning. The next conditioning exercises that I love doing on the slant board is the ATG split squat. And normally you want to do 6 to 12 reps without touching your back knee down to the floor to really activate your front leg and touch your hamstring to your calf. But I like to do a little variation here to incorporate a stretch in between as well. And this is really helpful for people who have short Achilles because, as you notice, as it's elevated, it allows for you to get deeper into a squat, thus conditioning your front knee and your vasti muscles, otherwise known as your VMO muscles. I also think this stretching routine is also a really great opportunity to explore different movements, and I really like going forward into this VMO squat, putting my back knee down and then grabbing it into a quad stretch, and I really feel my back hip flexor in this stretch, and this really, I've noticed, helps my lower back pain. And you'll notice when I sit my hips back, when I stretch my front knee, I keep my toes on the floor, and this really stretches my front arch, and as a ballerina, you really need to keep mobile ankles. So here you can see I'm doing that front lunge series, and then I'm going to grab my foot into a further quad stretch. Don't mind the dirty tape underneath my shoes. I was teaching at the studio yesterday and got a little bit of tape on them. Now you'll notice on this side, it's a lot more of a struggle for me. I have a lot less range of motion in the back hip flexor area. And I have noticed since using this slant board, I have acquired a lot more range of motion in my left hip flexor. And I love doing this one as well. And it's a little bit of a struggle for balance, so definitely grab something on the side if you need. Now the next set of exercises I love doing is the slant board step down, or otherwise known as heel touches. If you are somebody who struggles with pistol squats like I do, this is for you. I naturally don't have a lot of range of motion in my Achilles, and the slant board allows me to create a lot more range of motion in the back. It gives me a lot more space to explore movement. And this sequence that I'm showing you guys in this B-roll is just 2 of these squats, and then I hinge forward at my hips to really engage that bottom hamstring, and that allows for stabilization of that bottom leg without sitting my hips back. So I really want to hinge at my hips, shift forward, slightly tap my front heel down, and then hinge back up. And you will feel your hamstring in this one, I promise. Always make sure your toes are pointing in front and not turning in or turning out, making sure your knees over top of your toes as well. Now for dancers and just athletes in general, it's really important to target these vasti muscles, which are the muscles that support your knee. And a lot of people have chronic pain with their knee, so a lot of these exercises are safe and actually recommended to do if you are having chronic knee pain. But definitely ask your physiotherapist and or doctor what you should be doing for exercises and what you should not be doing. You can definitely add weights and make this exercise a little bit more weight bearing, a little bit more difficult and challenging, but for me personally, I'm using my own body weight and I find it so effective. Now these squats are very similar to this exercise, but I lower my bottom all the way down, touch my hamstrings to my calves, and this really allows me to play around with range of motion, which I otherwise couldn't if my heels were flat on the floor without the slant board's assistance. This exercise is so incredible to target your thighs, but you want to keep your knees over top of your toes at all times and keep your feet hip width apart. And this is another example of something that I couldn't do flat on the ground because I have such limited range of motion in my Achilles, but this allows me to target my thighs, target and condition my glutes without sacrificing the health of my knees and my Achilles. And I try to do about 12 reps in 3 sets every other day, and I've noticed a difference in my jump quality.
So thank you again so much Fitbeast for sending me this slant board. I absolutely love incorporating it in my stretching and my fitness routine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and bye now. Happy dancing.